Frank Clark, man, he spoke the other day and just very enlightening stuff. Like on a personal level, just him talking about his life and football. It was really impressive. I was thoroughly impressed by what he said and how he carried himself. I say that a lot on this podcast. I don't know. I'm kind of a nerd for like players that do well with the media, and I think that I like respect how they answer questions, I guess. But
By the
Frank
way,
Clark,
your
go ahead.
article on that was very good, by the way. I know you're not going to toot your own horn,
Oh,
but
I appreciate that.
I really enjoyed that article. That was really the first one that I saw on the Frank Clark topic.
Yeah.
I was a little bit behind on it, but I saw your article and I was like, man, this is like a story that, I mean, I don't know if it's nationally covered right now or if it's just local, but it needs to be a national story because this could be a comeback, man. This is a comeback story because everybody thought Frank Clark wasn't going to be on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, and now he's coming back. He's doing some stuff. Sorry, I took over.
No. You're good. I looked dumb because in May, I wrote an article called like, "Are the stars aligning for a productive Frank Clark season?" Everyone was like, "No, he's going to give you effing 5 sacks and get hurt and blah, blah." And I was like, I don't know. I just have a weird gut feeling that Frank Clark is going to have a good year. And I had not too much foundation for my argument. Now he's kind of bailing me out a little bit. He says he went through his decision to come back to the Chiefs. He said it was a very easy choice, that he loves Kansas City, that there was unfinished business, yada, yada, yada. He said he and Andy Reid had like a heart-to-heart about his underperformance last season. He had like 4.5 sacks and just wasn't healthy, wasn't good, wasn't productive. Said he weighed 262 pounds and was feeling heavy. I found that interesting that he's at 250 now and feels like healthier, which for a Spags guy, that's pretty light. Like even for Frank Clark, who's been listed at close to 270, 275 earlier in his career, found that interesting. But he looks healthier, he looks quicker, he looks better. He said he cut out red meat. That was a big part of it. He also just stopped drinking liquor. And I found that, man, extremely interesting. He thinks that the drinking liquor could have been what was causing his stomach issues that have been plaguing him for, 2-3 years now, that have rendered him ineffective for weeks and months on end. Says he cut it out in February, hasn't had any not attacks, but like issues since then that have bothered him. So with all that said, Mark, with him feeling better mentally, physically, making changes, recommitting himself to his craft, Andy Reid talking to him, do you believe Frank Clark's in for a quote unquote big year for his standards? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think that he'll have his best year as a Chief this year.
Oh, wow. Like not even, so including 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I think he's going to have a big year. I can't say it's a breakout year because he's already had a couple incredible seasons, some with the Seahawks, one with the Chiefs specifically. But I hate to say it because I know it's cliche, but looks like best shape of his life.
Yeah,
in training camp.
I love it. I love it.
And he looks strong. He looks fast. I'm seeing him work with the young guys, like him being a leader out there. I think it's just going to be a great combination of the youth plus Frank Clark plus Dunlap coming in there being another vet guy. And it's just going to all blend and meld together and just be this force up front, which I kind of was hoping for that last year. It didn't really work out as well as what I hoped. But this year, there's just a different sense. It feels like they're more physical. I've been watching some of their drills, which I know it's just drills, but they're just like smashing those pads. They're just like getting after it. They're doing, I don't know the terms, the names of the football thing. I don't even, do you know what I'm talking about, Jordan?
The dummies.
The dummies, essentially. Yeah. They're just hitting and going around and choking out and then like swiping. They're practicing their moves, basically their sack moves and everything like that. And Frank Clark looks super fast out there. Karlaftis looks fast. I haven't seen Kando I haven't been out to camp, so I haven't seen video of anybody shooting Kando doing it, but I'm excited to see what he's doing because I'm sure that he's out there getting his work in as well. When Dunlap gets into town, I know he's going to be having a great time with them as well. So yeah, I'm excited about Frank Clark. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I'm excited about Frank Clark, and I think he's going to have a great season for the Chiefs.
Yeah. So back in May, I want to say, I was thinking like 6 or 7 sacks. I was like, if Frank Clark can do that, that's going to be a really good year for his standards. Obviously, coming off a 4.5 sack campaign where Andy Reid was kind of like, "Hey, dude, like you didn't perform up to snuff and do what we expected you to do," because they're giving him a lot of money to produce, and he wasn't producing. So for him to go from that to truly getting healthy, just in my head, I didn't think losing weight would have been a problem, or I guess a solution for Frank Clark. I figured gaining weight would have been the solution, but he knows his body way more than anybody else. He said he's feeling good. He looks good. It can be a cautionary tale of like buying into preseason training camp, best shape of my life type hype. But considering the player Frank Clark has been in the past, considering how highly people talk about his character in the locker room, his leadership, his work ethic now, it's hard to not at least buy in a little bit to it. And I'm like one of the last people to buy into stuff like that. But Frank Clark, he's kind of sold me on it. And I was already on board before I learned any of this, before I knew he was going to be healthy, before I knew he was going to do this, that, and the other. If he's been in the lab, like he says, in training and working hard and mentally committed, physically committed, I don't see why he can't have a decent year. And is decent like 7 sacks, maybe is decent 8 sacks, maybe is it 8.5. Who knows? Like, I'm not saying he's going to get 10 sacks or, make a Pro Bowl based on merit instead of name or whatever this year. But I do think Frank Clark's going to be respectable. And for the Chiefs, it's about all you can ask for at this point because it's probably his last year in town anyway.